Do these staples make the Hunted the new strongest set? Hello and welcome to the table, and today I'm going to be talking about all these super powerful new cards coming out of the Hunted and how they are just going to make this game so freaking strong. This might be part the Misfail Part 2, but let's get into things, starting off with a lot of Syndra's cards. Now, a lot of these cards are only going to really be good in Syndra, but I feel like Syndra's going to be a stupidly powerful deck. The new Zen, which is part of why I'm thinking that this could be part of the Misveil Part 2. But there are some cards that Syndra's playing that are also going to be really good in another deck that might just be a more budget-friendly version of Syndra that, while being more powerful, or less powerful than Syndra, will still be really solid and probably a good meta contender. But to start things off, I got Ignite, a 0-cost, 2-attack, 2-block Draconic Ninja action attack with Go Again, and whenever it attacks, the next Draconic card you play or activate this combat chain costs 1 less to activate or play. So this is a really powerful card. Sure, it only attacks for 2, which is a little bit below rate, but you can go from an Ignite into a Blood Runs Deep, boom, like that, because the last thing was a Draconic card, and this costs 1. Oh wait, Ignite, it costs nothing, and then you get value out of Blood Runs Deep. There are some other cards like Dragon Power, a 1-cost, 4-attack, no Go Again, but when it attacks, if it's Draconic, it gets +3 power. And with all the fealty tokens that are likely going to be going around with Syndra and a lot of the Draconic decks, I feel like it's going to be relatively simple to make Dragon Power just a boom, 0-cost, 7-attack after you play something like an Ignite. Or worst case scenario, if you don't have another 1-cost card in your hand, or a 1-cost card in your hand, then boom, just Kunai of Retribution, just a little poke of 1 damage. I mean, it's a pretty powerful effect, not gonna lie. In addition to that, Ignite, while being powerful in Syndra, is also going to be really good in Fai, because I think a lot of the cards in Syndra are going to carry over to Fai, and Fai is not going to run everything that Syndra does, which is going to make him a little less costly than Syndra, but this card is just going to make Fai more powerful and be a new potential budget staple in a more budget-friendly Syndra deck, basically. Then there is Wrath of Retribution, which is usually going to be a 0-cost, 3-attack, 3-block, Go Again, Draconic Ninja attack action. All good things. And then whenever it attacks, daggers you control get +1 power and cost 1 less to activate this combat chain. So basically, all of these little kunais are going to come in for 2, and they're going to cost nothing. And this is on an on-rate Go Again body. I mean, that's good, you know? And it's sort of above rate because it blocks for 3, which is rare to see on Ninja cards. But we're seeing a little bit more of than usual in this set, which is interesting. But Wrath of Retribution just seems like a good card. Sure, it's a legendary, so you can only have 1 copy of it, but it's a good card in Syndra. And I feel like it could be an even better card in Fai, because I feel like what Fai's going to be wanting to do that's going to make his deck very different than Syndra when the set comes out, is that he, instead of basically destroying his weapons and then doing them over and over and over again, playing them over and over again from the graveyard with stuff like Syndra's ability, Fai is going to be attacking with his daggers additional times. And I feel like Wrath of Retribution is going to be a really good tool in his package, in his toolbox, so that they'll cost nothing to attack with, which is always good when you're attacking with weapons multiple times, and they come in for more, which is also very good when you're attacking with weapons multiple times. But then beyond that, I got Devotion Never Dies, which is really similar to a certain Gone in a Flash card from Rosetta. It's just a little bit good, just a little bit okay, but Devotion Never Dies seems like a almost stronger version, maybe, potentially. I mean, it's a 1-cost, 4-power, 2-blocking Go Again attack, which Gone in a Flash does not have Go Again. This does, and when it hits, if it's a Draconic attack was the last attack this combat chain, you banish this card, and then you get to play it again this turn. I mean, this seems like it's just like, oh, I'm going to play this. Okay, it's going to hit. Then I'm going to play this, and it hits, and I'm going to play this again. And basically, it's just going to be infinite value for the Syndra or Fai player unless your opponent blocks with cards from hand and equipment, or with a defense reaction, just getting rid of one of those from the opponent's always a good thing, or multiple pieces of equipment, which is also always a good thing. And this card's just always going to strip resources from your opponent, or you're going to get to attack with it a buttload of times, which isn't bad either, not gonna lie. So yeah, this card seems just okay. In addition to that, Fai Poe himself, the Dragon Warrior, has some pretty powerful new staples as well, mostly for himself, but there are some others that are going to be pretty powerful outside of Fai. Hunt's End in this deck, in Poe, basically, is going to be insane. I mean, a 0-cost 4-buff D-React, or not D-React, Attack React, is insane, and it blocks for 3. Now, sure, you can only do this if you have 3 or more fealty tokens, but still, that seems pretty powerful, especially considering that Fai's going to attack with his stuff multiple times in a turn. So, yeah, this is a good card. In addition to that, we got some other stuff outside of Fai that are going to be some pretty powerful staples in decks outside of Fai, like Kabuto of Imperial Authority. A warrior equipment headpiece, yes, a warrior, not Draconic warrior, equipment headpiece, so this can go in any warrior. Blocks for 2, it's got Blade Break, similar to a certain Crown of Providence, and whenever this defends until the end of turn, opponents cannot attack with weapons. Yeah, so ninja decks, such as Syndra, such as Fai, such as any ninja ever, warriors love weapons. So against other warrior decks, yeah, this card's just a little bit busted. And I mean, worst case scenario, you just have this in your sideboard and you don't play it. But when you go up against one of those matchups, boom, you get tons of value. And it's just an insane new sideboard piece of equipment for warrior decks. And yeah, it can go in every warrior deck. So this new staple is gonna be busted. It's gonna be a little bit cracked. It's gonna be some good way to disrupt the opponent. In addition to ways to disrupt the opponent, beyond just this, there's also Provoke, which, it's a blue 3-block. That's always a good start. Cost 1. It's a warrior attack reaction, which, costing 1 ain't the best, but you get a pretty good effect. A pretty good effect. If you're attacking with a weapon, this chain link, then the defending hero reveals a card from their hand. Action card, you add it to the chain link as a defending card, otherwise they discard it. So no matter what, you're going to strip a card from the opponent's hand. An additional card, if they're blocking with stuff already, and I mean if the thing isn't going to hit, or you got some extra stuff to, some extra breathing room for block value, then boom, play a Provoke. And you don't have to play multiple of these things either. You can only play 2 copies of it in your deck if you really want to. But the fact that this is a blue 3-block, in addition to being a very powerful piece of disruption, just seems kind of nuts. And again, this is a warrior attack reaction, not a Draconic warrior attack reaction. This can go in any warrior deck. So I don't know if it's just me, but this seems like it's just another good layer of disruption on top of warriors, which recently seemed to have gotten a lot of good disruption pieces. So a disruptive warrior deck, like Omega Disruption Warriors, and then boom, attack with stupid weapons repeatedly, it seems like a reasonably, realistic deck now. And this is just another tool in that deck's potential package. So that's good. That's great for us, players who like the game. And then outside of Warriors, there's also some insanely, cracked new Draconic cards. Which can go in, again, any Draconic deck, like Fai, like Syndra, like Poe, like certain somebody who's in the Living Legend format now, who is getting so many tools from the set, it is not even funny. That deck's gonna be just a little bit good. Little Dragon Queen herself. But anyways, let's talk about some of these Draconic cards. Loyalty Beyond the Grave. This card... 1, art is nuts. I love the art in this set so far. I love the reds and the fire and the passion of it. I just love it. But this card is insane. So it's a free Draconic defense reaction that blocks for 3. That's on rate. Now, sure, it being a defense reaction, you'd rather block for 4, but don't worry, there's some spice to this. Because while it's in your graveyard and at the start of your turn, you may banish 2 cards named Loyalty from beyond the grave, including the copy that like you're triggering this off of, whatever. And if you do, you draw a card. So let's say you have 2 Loyalty Beyonds in your graveyard. One goes off, you banish those 2 cards, and boom, you get to draw a card. So you get a 5-card hand. And then you just got a 5-card hand. If you got a card in the arsenal, boom, you got an easy way to set up like 6 cards to utilize in a turn. And there's some other cards that can stack up on top of this, like a drop of Dragon Blood, which is going in every single Draconic deck ever. Thank God this thing is legendary. This card is cracked. This is probably, like, it's a rare, but it's one of the strongest cards in the set so far, in my opinion. And it's also got some of the craziest and coolest looking art in the set so far. But it's a 2-cost instant, legendary instant, that costs 1 less to play for each Draconic Chainlink you control. Which, you know, Draconic decks like that, like having a lot of that. And then you gain a resource, and you draw a card. So it immediately replaces itself, and you go up a resource. Which has never been a bad thing before. Tome of Imperial Flame, which, oh, by the way, that card's going to be insanely good in Fane and in Syndra, because both of them are royal. So you get the value without having to play a headpiece that makes you royal, which is another reason why Fai is going to be way weaker than Syndra. But still, you can play Tome of Imperial Flame, Loyalty Beyond the Grave, and Drop of Dragon Blood to get your resources galore and cards, just like extra cards to play around with. Also, you got Proclaim Vengeance as another good way to get resources, and mark the opposing hero, which is very good. Like, you want to be doing that because, I mean, both of the heroes care about that. When you hit a marked hero, you create a fealty token. Fane cares about fealty tokens because you can make your daggers free to attack with. And Syndra, kind of same deal. Whenever you hit a marked hero, you create fealty tokens. And your fealty tokens can make your stuff Draconic, which you really care about, because you want to be playing a ton of Draconic cards and then redoing, like, getting extra value out of all your cards. It's just, like, it's good. These cards, like this card, Proclaim Vengeance, is a really good card. I can totally see that being, like, a one of, maybe beyond that, in, like, Syndra and Poe. And then, boom, drop a Dragon Blood, gain more resources, and it doesn't get you down any cards. And this might as well not get you down any cards, because marking might as well be worth you, like, going down a card. And then Loyalty Beyond the Grave, it puts you up cards. Tome of Imperial Flame puts you up cards, and it puts you up resources, basically. I mean, I don't know, it's so good. Yeah, it's just like these decks seem like they're gonna be pretty good. And let's talk about our assassin boy, our assassin buddy, Mary. I love Mary. And holy crap, these new cards. Now, we haven't seen basically any of his Majestics, besides Tarantula Toxin, which, oh, by the way, this card's insane. You know, this card's kind of absurd, especially considering that this card exists. But, speaking of daggers that want to hit, Bite, you know, it's only a rare, but I mean, you can have daggers you control, you can have a dagger you control deal damage to the opposing player, and, it hits, and, you know, Mark of Huntsman wants to hit, so that you can then mark and get stupid amounts of value. So that's good. Just unpreventable way to mark an opponent. So that card's cracked. And it's only a rare. And then this, you know, gets those graphene tokens equipped, and then it gives a buff to your next attack. Good things. And it blocks for 3, that's a good thing. And then Mark Black Widow, just a common. Just a simple common. But, you know, when it hits a marked hero, which seems simple enough to do with this deck, they banish a card from their hand. So, while it's not the craziest thing in the world, because there's no way to basically, like, it's not a command and conquer-like effect, like, this can't be defended by defense reactions, for example. But, I mean, Mark of Black Widow, you know, seems pretty solid considering it's a 0 cost that can disrupt the opponent's hand. And I imagine, since this is Mark of the Black Widow that can disrupt, imagine we're getting something for Funnel Web, Mark of Funnel Web, and we get basically like another way to disrupt the arsenal. Basically like a sort of kind of budget, it's a common Command and Conquer for Mary, and that's nuts. Reaper's Call, just a common. And an instant speed, discard it, mark target opposing hero. Like, you're probably not going to be playing the red copies of this. You're going to be playing the blue copies of this. The blue copies of Reaper's Call are going to be so good. They can pitch, they can block for 3, or you can discard it if you don't need them. You don't need the resources, and boom, you mark the opposing hero, which, you like that a lot. You want to mark the opponent all the time. And while these are just commons and rares, like, these aren't even the most powerful cards that Arachne's gonna get, and these are insane. And I mean, like, for commons, these are insane. And I mean, all the cards that we are seeing so far just seem so good, especially for Arachne. Like, we haven't seen that many of the Majestics yet, and I can already see all the tools flying around in my head, just kind of seeing like, ooh, this card, ooh, that card, ooh, this card, ooh, that card. I was just putting all the pieces together, and you becoming the evil mastermind of evil. Because that's a thing. But still, like, there are so many pieces, some very budget level pieces beyond just the Majestics. And even then, the Majestics and the Legendaries that we've seen so far are insane. The rares in this set, which, I mean, there are good rares, but like usually it's just commons and a lot of Majestics and a couple of rares here and there. But the rares in this set seem really good. Like, there's power everywhere. There's so little in this set that I'm not like all basically drooling about. It's like, oh my god, that's so cool. That's so good. It's just, everything looks so good. Like, this is literally Part the Mistveil Part 2 in my book, because everything in Part the Mistveil, I'm like, okay, that's a card that I don't really think is bad. That's a card I don't think is bad. That's a card I don't think is bad. This set is the same thing. Like, disruption, really good disruption on commons, ways to easily get, like, I don't know, this set just seems kind of nuts to me, not gonna lie. But anyways, with all that aside, make sure to hit that subscribe button, hit that like button. It's completely free, you won't regret it. Leave a comment down below if you think I'm crazy, or if you believe these staples and these new cards at pretty low rarity are going to make this the new Part the Mistveil, Part the Mistveil Part 2, and potentially the strongest set in all Flesh and Blood. See you next time, everybody.